Inertia Cult is a debut full-length album from Melbourne, Australia-based sludge metal band, stoner sludge metal band, Ghostsmoker, who are often tagged as a blackened sludge metal band or a blackened doom metal band, and largely because their vocals are rasped. And I think this is really does not build realistic expectations for the listener to mention this in any sense along the lines of black metal at all. It really has nothing to do with black metal in the slightest. In fact, the style of this record in particular probably has more to do with psychedelic doom metal overall, but there is a strong rasping sludge metal side of it, which has nothing to do with black metal in the sense that it sounds more like early Grief or Burning Witch to some degree, but it's not quite quacking as loud as a Burning Witch record might have back in the day. Their first EP and some of their early recordings definitely had more of a different style of vocal, and they have given a little bit more oomph to it in the past. And beyond their first EP, they've also included members from sludge metal band Cull, as well as the drummer from Holy Serpent, who is a considerable drummer and adds quite a lot to the overall impact of this record. So building up to this thing, they did seem like kind of a standard band in this style, which is something that I would generally compare to War Horses as Heaven Turns to Ash. That is much more of a southern metal influenced record in general, but if you're a fan of Monolord, Warhorse, and you listen to early Grief, there is a lot of that stonier but still sludge metal and doom metal influence sound all feeding into this style. So it's an easy sound to jump right into, and that's what we'll do right here with a clip, and then I'll talk more about what made this record so effective for me. So if you're going to be listening to this style of music, you're probably there for the guitar sound first. That really is the big deal with stoner music and stoner doom. And for a sludge metal band, you want to have a huge impactful sound in most cases, especially if you're stoner music adjacent. So this album has a great guitar sound. I wouldn't say that it necessarily phases out like Vanier era Monolord. I think that's one of my favorite guitar tones in that style. And the first Conan LP is what I mentioned here is kind of a barometer as to how heavy this record is. It is a mean-assed sludge metal record, first and foremost. It is hissing and angered. There is also a psychedelic doom metal side to it where they drift off. They feed a little bit of that post-metal fusion into some of these moments so that they aren't always growling, hissing, and riffing. Now, it is fairly simple riff craft. Otherwise, this is a stoner doom metal record at heart, and those rhythms are both familiar and a little bit entranced in their own drift, so that extra post-metal or psychedelic doom influence, whatever's feeding this band, is really what makes it the most interesting entry in this realm in some time. Otherwise, these are long, extended pieces that really work up immersion, and that's beyond the guitar tone, the rasped misery of it all, and kind of what they're conveying in the themes. The weight of this record really is in the riff most of the time. It's as simple as that. I don't think this is a complex record to really divvy up into a lot of deep thoughts. It really is just a molten sounding sludge metal record that has some strong doom metal influence, a great production sound, and great curation of all of its parts. So for me, that's a moderately high recommendation. I think that the immersion is strong. It's just not quite my type of songwriting. The riffs aren't quite as entertaining as I had expected it to build up. It kind of goes nowhere at times and great places others. I think that the themes and the lyrics are actually pretty interesting. I don't know what an Inertia Cult is exactly, but I did appreciate the lyrics and the general audiovisual flair of this record. It's almost to that point of just being well above average, but it is certainly above average as a record. Pretty interesting record, worth checking out. It released on March 21st. Check that out now, and go ahead and check out my written review for more of my thoughts.